Hi there, Kasama here. So I'm having a mommy moment and I started to write it because I was going to post it, and I decided to send you a video because I think you really need to hear how I feel as a mom. So, Bart and I are both very busy people with our work and our careers. So even though we're blessed to be able to work from home, there lie challenges in how we're able to support our kids in school. So Quinn's adapted really well. He's going to NVC, and I think, I mean, kudos to American Canyon High School for having prepared him, where he's just like, he's really soaring. I know he's just taking core requirement classes, what have you, but he's just like rolling, doing really well, okay? Then we have Ari, who's just really having a hard time, and he's always excelled since elementary school, has done really well in a structured environment up until first semester of last year, until the pandemic hit. So this is not a bash on our school district, so please be really clear about that. I'm not here to bash the school district, because unless I can do a better job, I'm not here to bash anybody, okay? So, but and I know the school district is doing the best that they can with what's available, considering the circumstances. So I'm not going there. I'm not blaming. I'm not here to blame. We have a responsibility, I feel, as a parent to really figure it out at home and help our kids. And I felt like Ari was kind of drowning for a while as progress report was coming out, in trying to figure out how to like come up for air. You know what I mean? Like when you're drowning, you're trying to swim up for air, and that's what he was doing. So we had our family meetings a couple of times. Quinn has stepped up and stepped in because I asked him. I said, I don't know, like I know how to be a parent, but I don't know how to help with this academic nuances and his experience, right? So Quinn has actually stepped in and mentored Ari, which is huge. But I think the thing that I want to share with you is today, and I want to share this with the parents, okay? So I believe that all teachers offer office hours. I don't know if they do, so please don't take, like, you got to do your own research, right, as a parent of your kid. I'm talking about American Canyon High School. I asked Ari in one class that he's starting to experience the challenge if there's office hours, and he's like, well, I don't know. I said, well, email your teacher, right? That's a way to find out anything. Ask the question and let at least the teachers know that you actually care about the challenges that you're going through. So turns out there's an office hour. So actually it's Mr. Ike, who's like one of my all-time favorite teachers. Quinn had him for 3 years, and he's become a friend. Many of the teachers have become a friend to me, a personal friend, that I would want to do whatever I can within my capacity to support what they're doing. And some of them are not even my teachers, my kids ever teachers. They're just teachers who are just making a difference in other kids' lives, and that's kind of where my passion is. But anyway, so Mr. I does have office hours. So I said, do you feel that you need to schedule an appointment? So what I've learned in coaching as well is you don't tell people what to do, because adults or kids, because telling people what to do does not make them do it. Asking them questions that would lead them to their own solution, where they would own it, would encourage them to take action, because it becomes their own answer, right? So I asked Ari, I said, well, do you think you should schedule an office hour, since he's kind of, he's experiencing some challenge. And he was doing really well up until 2 weeks ago, right? So he said, I guess so. I said, oh, great, okay. So anyway, fast forward, they had their office hour, and I popped in. So again, I'm not imposing our values and policies in your home, but in our homes, your phone, my kids, Their phones are actually our phone, and it's a privilege for them to have their phone. So not the other way around. This one's your birthright. So the phone was taken away for a little bit because he couldn't focus. I said, well, that doesn't help you, right? Your brain needs to learn how to focus on one thing right now. I actually did this talk in our 10th grade class about, based on the One Thing book, how our brain actually works. The brain can only really fully focus on one thing at a time, okay? Not 3 different things and actually getting them done. It takes you longer actually to multitask like that. And I'm challenged in that way. Anywho, back to, you see what I mean? Like I digress. So he had the office hour with Mr. Ike, and I popped in. Oh, the other thing is we could go in if we need to during operational hours without knocking. He's in school. So I popped in, opened the door, and I sat and watched, and I got so emotional because Mr. Ike is so patient, and he detected that the way he was explaining it, because Ari didn't answer a couple of questions on the test, so he wanted to get with Mr. Ike on that. And he detected that Ari was not able to respond in that one way that he was explaining. So he went another way. He did the 3D. He brought in the 3D graphics to explain, and he got it. And I thought, oh my God, like, so if he wasn't encouraged to reach out to schedule office hour, he'd be stuck still with the same problem and would think that it's something that he would never overcome, right? And the problem with, he's in Math 3 honors, so it's like an accelerated math class. If you don't get this block, you go to the next block, you're even more confused. So you have to understand every single thing that's going on. And Quinn went through it, so I understand it. So we were like, and Quinn and I were like, and Bart too, we were like, you need to get clear on this. You need to understand what you didn't get, because when he teaches the next piece, you're now gonna not get 2 things instead of 1 thing. So what I want to encourage the parents is to encourage your kids, if they're stuck, if they're having a hard time with the asynchronous, managing their own time, and they're not doing the work because it's left up to them to manage it, take advantage of office hours. That's one thing with the teacher. I have not experienced a teacher who's not willing to help when asked, respectfully. So and that's just one example of a class. The second thing is really help them, and I've gone through this, so I'm not preaching, okay? Like, it's been my challenge in the midst of us being busy, to really, like, I gave him a planner. I said, you need to plot everything out. What time, from this time to this time, what are you going to be working on? Which assignment is due tomorrow? How many missed assignments do you need to make up that you still have time to make up? Because all those, pile up and affect your grades. And if you have not looked on Aries, you should. And you should look at how many missed assignments they have and how many of them can be made up. And you don't do it for them, but you guide them. So like with what we went through, I just said, you should send an email and ask, really clarify before you start doing the work to try to make up, which ones you can still make up, because every teacher is different and you have to be respectful of those rules and ask in a way. And so what I told him was, be respectful in how you ask. Be the one that actually cares about making it better, not like, you gave me too much work and I can't do it. Like, that's, the real world doesn't work like that, right? So I just wanted to share a couple of tips with you. First of all, exercise office hours with the teachers. Have your child reach out to the teacher and schedule an appointment. That really helps. I mean, he came out of his room, talked to his brother, and he was so excited because he felt better. Can you imagine that? Like, you have a problem and it hadn't been solved, and now it got solved. So that was one. The second thing is really help them, teach them techniques on how to map out their time, how to schedule, like literally down to each assignment. How much time are you going to need? And have you plotted it into your planner? Like, don't do it on the phone. Like, I have a planner and I have a phone, and I'm a business person, and I still need both. So, and the power of writing stuff out, and I've done this in leadership and, you know, other things that I've done. When you write stuff out, that's when you really own it. It's not when it's in your head or when you think you know something. And when your kid feels overwhelmed with the workload, teach them, like just tell them, write everything down. Write all the assignments that are due. And next to it, write down when they're due, right? Sometimes when you break it all out and you can see all the pieces, it gets perched out of your head and you feel less overwhelmed, because the anxiety a lot of times is caused by there's so much going on and I can't sort it all out. I mean, we experience it as adults, and I do it myself. Like when I start to feel like there's too much going on in my business, I have to write stuff out and I have to see all the names of clients or whatever the situation is. So, and I did this with Quinn, and we were successful with the technique of just chunking it down, writing it all out. Okay, so if I'm saying something that is common sense to you business people, that's wonderful, but it's not common sense to you, our children. They're learning this for the first time, and it's a really challenging year. So I wanted to leave this with you. I hope it's helpful. Again, don't, like, this is not about bashing the system, the teachers, and the schools. I'm talking about what I have control over in our home as parents, and what our kids need to learn to own as the students. And I hope it's helpful to you. I hope this has been a positive message and it adds value to you. Feel free to comment below if it helps. Thanks for watching.